Today, on another episode of We Need to Talk, we cover part 2 of our conversations about memes, also known as memes. That joke died last episode, but it's revived as a necrotic meme. We need to talk. We don't have to get too into the weeds with it, but the idea behind Rickroll, or the idea behind it, was that you would get somebody all hyped up for something. Like, let's say, oh, Halo 3 is coming out, or, oh, you see the new trailer for this new Marvel movie, right? So there's something person A, the victim, wants to see, or is very interested in, and you get them all hyped up for it, and then you give them a link, and then they go to that link, instead of getting what they wanted, they get Rick Astley singing, "Never Gonna Give You Up," right? Mm-hmm. And then you get to feed on their energy of just, it was so like just pure disappointment, and that's where it's really great. What happened is people were seeing this meme out there, but they weren't understanding the full context of when it was replicating, or rather, they would see something like they would get rickrolled. They would think because they went to a Rick Astley video and they're like, oh, I got rickrolled, because I guess that's what getting rickrolled is. You just click on a link, and instead of being what it is, it's a Rick Astley video. So then people started thinking that just watching Never Gonna Give You Up was being rickrolled. And in a way, that's kind of like the ladder of generality, where sometimes memes will get more specific over time, and then sometimes they get more general. It's hard for them to kind of stay in a certain specificity level, but that's an instance where it got more general, and it kind of ruined the meme, in my opinion.
But isn't any time you go to the Rick Astley video you being rickrolled? Like,
no, because it's what you expect.
Nobody goes to it on purpose, though.
I have before.
Hey, Nate, can we like stop the podcast for a second? Are you okay?
Yes.
You watching Rick Astley?
Yeah, every once in a while.
Go get your fill. Go get your Rick rolls in.
It's not a bad song. I mean, and the video is just kind of hilarious too. Like, I remember back in the day when we watched the video like a bunch of times, like just making fun of it. And, sometimes I go back and it's like, oh yeah, this is hilarious. This was funny.
I really want, it sounds like you're not getting enough Rickroll in your life. You're not getting Rickrolled enough, so you have to Rickroll yourself now. You're like, I could really go for some Rickroll.
So I feel like you're trolling me right here, because you're trying to get me to say that that's not a Rickroll because I'm choosing to go there. And though that is true, I shall go to your more general colloquial definition, because that is now what Rickroll has become.
No, I think that like you love the concept of Rickrolling as you defined it, and you ache for the days when you could be Rickrolled, but you can't anymore. So now you have to Rickroll yourself by being like, I really want to go to this video, and then going to it, and it actually is Rick Astley. Mm-hmm. So the expectation is in and of itself the circumnavigation of the expectation, because you're going to it hoping for the feeling that you get when you're rickrolled, and when you don't get it, that's the subversion of your expectation that makes it a rickroll. Okay, you are rickrolling yourself.
This is the most big brain you've ever been, Steve.
What I'd really like to see is everyone, it's at Pepin on Twitter, just dominate his inbox and try and rickroll him. He's going to be expecting it. Uh-huh. You need to find a way to rickroll him. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You're going to think every link you click on is going to be rickroll. It's not. And then when you least expect it, rickroll.
What's kind of interesting with the rickroll is that the meme had kind of waned in popularity, and as a consequence, the people who were the OGs to the meme, or who kind of knew what the meme was about, every once in a while they will start replicating that meme again, but in the proper context. And so every once in a while on Reddit, I'll see like a post or something, and I'll be like, oh, hey, what's this about? It seems really interesting. And then I click on it, and it's rickroll, and I'm like, damn it, I actually got rickrolled. And then everyone like, God damn it, I'll give you that. Like, it's just very, very, they do it in such a clever way, and it's like an advanced rickroll.
Mm-hmm. And that's when you finally feel something again.
Are we saying I don't have emotions? Like, where's this going?
We're saying that You have to be Rickrolled to feel now.
Okay, I guess that's true.
Without being Rickrolled, it means nothing. I want I want you being Rickrolled by yourself to be a meme in and of itself. I want people to know you as the guy who Rickrolls himself.
All right, all right. And the thing is, kind of going back to reputation, that would be a false reputational state generated by the meme of you saying, I am Rickrolling myself. And then there'd be some conflict there because I'd be like, no, I'm not, because, hey, that's what a Rickroll is. And you're like, oh, man, you're actually Rickrolling yourself. And your meme would win over mine because it's more simple.
Well, and because it's more absurd and funny.
That's true.
And sometimes that matters way more. Because the fact that you would fight against it would only make it grow more.
The Streisand effect.
Oh, yes.
Which, people talk about that just like it being an effect, but that's like a mimetic structure, or this mimetic effect.
You have a YouTube series about mimetics.
Yeah, I haven't really done anything with it. So, yeah.
Oh, have you posted any?
I posted a couple.
Yeah, I've watched them and they're always amazing.
Yeah, especially the one about the armpits. That's the one you didn't like as much.
I don't even remember that. I've blocked it from my memory.
Yeah, well.
Do you lift up your arm and you Rickroll?
Yes, there's Rick Astley under there.
Yeah, and he's dancing. He's dancing. Wasn't Rickroll a duck roll?
Yeah. It started out as a duck roll, and that one was like popular, but I don't think it was good enough. It wasn't as replicable as like Rickroll himself.
But it lent part of its name to the Rick Astley meme.
Yeah.
The roll, right? Because there's no roll in Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up music video.
Yeah, there was a bit of a mimetic transference there, or it kind of inherited the part of the name from it. True.
How many of these phrases that you use are real, and how many of them are you taking concepts and making them about memes, like mimetic transference?
Well, I have like a whole dictionary in the book I was trying to write about this.
Nate, you need to release your meme book. The world needs it.
So I have a lot of different ideas out there with the memes.
How many Tumblr accounts do you have dedicated to memology?
0.
Wow, that's a low number.
I wonder if I could pull up some of these ideas because they get kind of interesting.
I'm confident that they do. And now this topic began, we have a list that we keep of all of the different topics that we want to talk about. And the suggestion was, let's just put them in a choose for me wheel online and spin it. And whatever comes up is what we talk about. And you click the button and it spins, and then just the words "our memes forever" came up, and I fucking lost my shit because the image of that was unreal. It was so pure. Our memes forever on this spinning wheel online.
You love the meta meme there. It's like you're a fan of like the context within the context.
Yes, for sure.
Give me just 1 second here. I'm just gonna try to find that thingy I'm trying to find.
Yeah, no, I've been just talking, trying to just fill in space so you can do that on the side.
Yeah, I just feel bad.
Well, you're good. I enjoy talking. It's gonna replicate the meme of me over time. It's just my voice forever. There's hundreds of hours of me saying stupid things that could be taken out of context and make me look real good or bad. Probably in that order would be my assumption. I don't know that we've touched on if memes are forever though. And I think memes have I think we need to talk about life cycle of memes if we're going to talk about are they forever. And it does also come back to the ship of Theseus as well, in that as memes change over time, can a meme live forever if it continually changes? Like, is that the same meme? And at what point, with replacing and perverting parts of the meme, does it become a new meme? Or is it all part of the same base meme?
So it's the same sort of question with biology and evolution, because you could have the theory is, or the hypothesis is, that everything started out from a single species, and then through replicative means, natural selection, and all that kind of stuff, things started kind of proliferating out. And then there's this question of, let's say take one of our ancestors. If you take one of our ancestors 100 years ago, they're definitely human. 1,000 years ago, definitely human. 10,000 years ago, definitely human. 100,000 starts being a bit more iffy, but yeah, probably more human. But you start going back, say, million, 2 million, 3 million, and you start getting this kind of like fuzziness of, is this a human? Is this not a human? Is this something else? Now, there is a criteria through which they can determine whether it's the same species, and that's, can it mate with the thing of the same species, right? So you can take like a donkey and a horse. I believe those two can mate and create an offspring. I believe it's a mule, but the mule itself can't replicate itself. That doesn't quite apply to memes, but you can kind of get that, because it comes from a similar lineage, but there's a certain point where they get too far apart and they kind of diverge. And so I think it's the same sort of thing with memetics, where you can have a meme where it replicates and then it kind of proliferates into these different things, but you get to a point where it starts getting really, really fuzzy. It's like, is this from the same meme, or is this a synthetic meme, or memeplex? So you can get these combinations of memes kind of combining together. So like, in a sense, that is, you could say Keyboard Cat was one of those lolcat memes, right? So that's one thing, but it also had aspects of other memes too. Like a cute cat video and everything. So you can take a meme that combines different aspects of memes, and you get something completely new and fresh.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like new and fresh doesn't necessarily make a meme good either, because there are a lot of memes that are absurdly old that are better than a lot of the newer memes. And I feel like the life cycle of a meme is like a sine wave, in that it goes up in popularity and then caps out and then goes back down, but then it always comes back and over. And that's like fashion, that's like trends. Things always have a way of coming back later on down the line and becoming popular again. And I think that's super interesting, and definitely true of memes as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely a sort of like fashion to sort of things, and also just a sort of experimentation, because a lot of times when you start getting stagnation in a memetic culture, you'll still see replication, but people kind of need that uniqueness to it, right? It gets too boring, so they start experimenting, and then memes start mutating, and they start mutating at a fast rate. And then part of the culture within that society might be to start keeping up with these memes. You can think about this a lot in fashion, right? So people in fashion will try to keep up with current fashion trends to kind of, follow the creativity for social status, all these different things, which in themselves are kind of memes to reputation. But it's like, you ever lose like the initial seed for the thought, and they're like, I was going somewhere, and now I don't know where I'm going with this. What am I talking about? This was an example for something, I swear.
Well, are memes forever?
Kind of. I mean, no.
We were talking about the sine wave life cycle of a meme and fashion trends over time.
Oh yeah. So there's like a fashion. So yeah. So people will start experimenting with the memes.
Yeah.
But as things get too crazy to follow, people will start, have a hard time replicating those memes, and those memes just kind of fall away just naturally. It's through their own like evolutionary process. And then it kind of goes back to the default, or maybe the default plus a little bit more, right? Maybe a bit more nuance. And you kind of see that stuff a lot like for instance, in kind of the programming side, like with software design, like there's these basic core concepts, and then people kind of go off on their little side projects or side ideas, like these new kind of ways of structuring code or doing things, and they will kind of start going at that, and then things get really complex, but it seems like it's getting better. Then eventually, when they realize there's too much complexity to deal with, they'll go back to a simpler method, and that's just the mimetic pruning essentially, because there's only so many memes you can actually have going on in your brain. You can also be many layers. You can do a lot, but at a certain point, it gets too much to keep up with, and you just have to like start pruning them out.
That's not true.
It's not true?
No, memes, you can have unlimited memes in your brain.
All right.
You can speak only in memes if you want.
Well, yeah, that's all you're ever going to speak, though, is just memes.
Yeah.
Or the things that you speak that aren't memes will never be replicated and never talked about again.
Mm-hmm. And that's true meme. It's the meme that lives once and dies.
How so?
On a single breath, this meme was born, never to be replicated.
Well, I would argue if never replicated, it wasn't a meme to begin with.
But wasn't it?
No.
But wasn't it?
Because a meme is a unit of cultural replication.
Not necessarily. What if it happened once, though?
If it happened, then it's definitely not a meme.
Then what is it?
It's information, because a meme is information that replicates, and it's a little bit strange because the meme can replicate internally too, because people just think about memes replicating from person to person, but like ideals and personal like beliefs or just the thoughts you have, like I'm a bad person, those are memes that replicate internally, and it might just happen once, right? But typically they will kind of turn inside you like cyclically, right? And eventually those memes might replicate to other people. So let's take veganism, right? People who are vegans think about how they're vegans all the time. That's a meme that replicates internally a lot, but you can see it kind of overfills and kind of goes to other people too. So there's a lot of mimetic replication outside the host body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if this is an idea you had once and never pops up again, like that great joke I came up with, then it's not a meme.
How many great memes have you come up with?
Oh, so many.
Yeah, name 7 right now if you're a real fan of Pepin.
So I came up with this word. It's called thems. It's THEMTH, and it's a great word. I came up with this idea that like maybe 7 plus 3 shouldn't be 10. It should be something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to call it yet, but that's just the idea. I've thought about that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's the podcast, We Need to Talk, which is a meme. I mean, that wasn't just me, that was the creation of us, but it's still a meme that replicates in my head over and over again. We could talk about my son, who doesn't exist yet, but that's a meme inside my head. It could be a doubt or two, but you know. Suzanne Summers. That's a great one.
Okay, there's the first meme you've said. Suzanne Summers. Ended up being a real person that you thought you made up. But you did not know they were a real person. So you did make them up. The text in an apple was definitely a meme you made up that has perpetuated.
Mm-hmm.
There's videos about it. There's podcast episodes about it. There's the horrifying images in my brain about it.
I don't know if you remember this, but I had this kind of troll meme sort of thing back in the day where people would say things and you're like, oh, wait, what do you think about this? And I just answer 5 and then just give an answer. Remember that?
Thankfully, no.
Well, you started doing it for a little bit too.
I'm sure, because that's what I do, is follow whatever you do.
That was the case back then. I was very, very patting myself on the back because I was the meme genesis for Meader.
You were the meme genesis.
But I guess the baby is another meme I came up with.
The baby?
The baby.
Isn't that a rapper?
No, the baby.
The baby?
The baby.
The baby?
The baby.
What's that?
Oh, well, it's like we have that reaction series called Pepin Reacts to Breaking
Oh
Bad.
yeah. Uh-huh. That's a really good one. I really like that. Our last episode, we were losing it laughing.
That will be coming out eventually. Who knows when?
My favorite is that we're like probably 30 episodes in, and you still start each one with, well, I don't know what format this is gonna be, but
I mean, I gotta leave that to the implementation details, right? I can't decide it now. I'll just decide it later.
I hope even when you know, you still use that, because that has to become a meme in and of itself. Remember the baby?
The baby?
Yeah, the baby.
I don't think we've seen the baby yet, or have
Not
we?
yet. I mean, in a way,
Huh.
right?
We see the actually that's kind of interesting because the baby is not just what it is; it's kind of effects beyond that, and that's kind of my idea, maybe brought about by this idea of the extended phenotype, where the meme of you isn't just you and your physical body, but rather it's the effects you have in the world and what it does. Like, I don't know. Bad example. Let's go here. Hitler. He's a meme in
Okay.
itself because you have the man himself, but then you have the effects of the man, and the effects of the man is greater than the body in itself, in the brain.
Well, I would say that to that point, it kind of goes with the theory I've always had that people like die 3 deaths, the actual physical death of a person, and then when the last person who knew anything about them or like had a direct correlation to them either no longer has that memory or dies or whatever. So when you are stricken from the public consciousness in some way, and then the third is when the repercussions of everything that you've done in your life no longer have preceding repercussions, which maybe never if you're subscribing to the butterfly effect that everything has meaning, or it may be very soon if you don't subscribe to that and you just think that whatever like actions you take ripple out so far and then stop off. But that is my 3 death theory.
Yeah, I'd argue that the final death is like like if it goes along with the butterfly effect, which is like a sort of thing, but it's the point at which you can't trace back that event to its source.
Yeah, that would be the second death.
The second death? What's the third death again?
Third death is when, regardless of whether you can trace it back or not, the actual ripple effect ends.
Oh, I see. So there's no more ripples. Like the universe begins again, or
Yeah.
the state of the universe is not related or not dependent upon that.
Right.
Okay. I dig that. It is one of those like cheesy things where people say like, you still live on in their hearts, and
I mean, it's true.
it's true. Yeah, completely. I mean, that's all you are to me, really, is a meme, right? Or like you exist out in the world, of course, right? But all I have of you is just like my internal representations of you. And when you pass, if you ever pass, I don't think you will. I think you live on forever. But that's how you live on inside my brain, is through that representation. And of course, a bit of sadness, because that would be very sad.
No, I hold on very dearly to the meme of you in my heart. I'm never going to give it up.
Are you ever going to let it down?
That doesn't make sense.
Okay, I thought you were going with Rick Astley.
Nate, are you that desperate to rickroll yourself?
Yes, I am.
That you can't hear I'm never going to give it up without continuing it?
Listen, I was trying to avoid. I didn't believe you were true here. I thought you were just trolling me, but really I just found something deep inside myself after enough consideration that maybe I have a problem.
We're getting somewhere.
Maybe
Nature is healing.
the Rick in the roll is within me, and I am the Rick roll because I am myself. I'm trying to go somewhere here. Help me.
Nate, we need to talk.